So here we are going to talk about gymnosperms. Now, gymnosperms are the fourth division in plant kingdom. So we have looked at Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta. The next one is gymnosperms and the next one is angiosperms. Now, if we talk about the basic characteristics of gymnosperms, the first one is they are non-flowering. They are non-flowering and seed producing plants. Seed producing plants. So they don't produce flowers but they produce seeds. Now if they don't produce flowers, there is no ovary which is being formed. So if there is no ovary, there is no fruit also. So if there is no fruit, the seeds have to be, so if there is no fruit, the seeds have to be naked. So naked seeds. The seeds which are produced are naked seeds. This is very important. In angiosperms, the seeds are hidden. So that is the main difference between gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms have naked seeds, angiosperms have hidden seeds. Now, the next one is the tallest gymnosperm and the shortest gymnosperm. Now, the smallest gymnosperm or the shortest gymnosperm is called Zamia pygmea. Zamia pygmea. This is the smallest gymnosperm, Zamia pygmea. Next, the tallest gymnosperm or the tallest tree is gymnosperm and the name is Hipparion, or it's also called as, so it's Hipparion and it's also called as Sequoia. Hipparion is the tallest tree and this is the coastal redwood. And this is called as Sequoia sempervirens. So that's a bit difficult name, Sequoia sempervirens. But Hipparion is the common name. So this is the tallest tree or tallest gymnosperm. Tallest gymnosperm is a tree actually. And that is the the common name is coastal redwood. So this is about the smallest gymnosperm and the tallest gymnosperm. Coming to the classification of gymnosperm. The first one is called conifers. And this conifers include Pinus. So conifers include Pinus, and this is what we are going to talk about in detail in this video. And the next one is Cycadales. Cycadales include Cycas. The third one is Gentiales. So the third one is Gentiales. And the fourth one is Ginkgoales. So Ginkgoales. This is also a bit difficult. So that's Ginkgoales. And Ginkgoales include a tree called Ginkgo biloba. So Ginkgo biloba. Now this is a very important example. This Ginkgo biloba is actually considered as a living fossil. Now what is living fossil? Living fossil means we have this tree. The tree is existing today as well, but it shows certain ancient characteristics of plants. That is Ginkgo biloba. This is a very important one, and it comes under Ginkgoales classification in gymnosperms. So we are going to focus on this one, which is Pinus, and it comes under conifers. We are going to talk about the different parts in Pinus and the characteristics also. So talking about Pinus. Pinus is a conifer, it's a gymnosperm and it shows acropetal branching. So acropetal branching. What is acropetal branching? So acropetal branching is, so if we take an example, this is the main stem and the branches. Acropetal branching means the lower branches are tall or either long and they are old. As we move upper, the branches become short and small and they become young. So here we have the tall branch and then we have a bit smaller one, a bit smaller one, a bit smaller one, again like that. So this is nothing but acropetal branching and they are alternate. So acropetal means the lower branches are, so I can write it here, the lower branches are old and long, and as we move upper, the branches become young and short. This is called acropetal branching. There is one more type of branching called basipetal branching. There it's totally different. The bottom ones are young and short and the upper ones are old and long. So that is completely different. But in case of Pinus shows acropetal branching. The low ones are old and long. The upper ones are young and short. Coming to the next characteristics, that is Pinus is monoecious. Monoecious. Meaning of monoecious? Monoecious means the male and female sex organs are present on the one plant. There is one more mode called dioecious. Dioecious is there is a male plant and there is a female plant. So, male sex organ is on one plant, female sex organ is on another plant. That is shown in Markhantia, that is in bryophytes. So, when we are talking about Pinus is monoecious. That means male and female sex organs are present on only one plant. Coming to the stem. So, coming to the stem in Pinus, there are two types of stem. The first one is called long shoot and the second one is called dwarf shoot. Dwarf means short. So there is long shoot and there is dwarf shoot. Now in case of long shoot, there is a terminal bud or there is a bud at the tip. Bud at the tip. In case of dwarf shoot, there is no bud at the tip. So there is no terminal bud. Now we told that there is a bud at the tip in case of long shoot. That means this long shoot has unlimited growth. So if there is a bud at the tip, that means there is a growth continuously. So the plant is growing continuously. That's why there is an unlimited growth. When there is no bud at the tip, in case of dwarf shoot, there is a limited growth. Limited growth. So when we draw it, so if we have the long shoot, this is the long shoot, we have the bud at the tip here, and then we have the dwarf shoots like this. Again the same thing, acropetal branching. These are the dwarf shoots. These dwarf shoots don't have bud at the tip, so we will not draw them, and also they have limited growth. So here we have the scaly leaves, and from these scaly leaves these dwarf shoots arise. So this is the structure of a long shoot and dwarf shoot. So if we have to label them, this is the long shoot, this is the dwarf shoot, and these are the scaly leaves. So from these scaly leaves, the shoots, the dwarf shoots arise. Okay, so this is about stem. There is a long shoot. There is in case of long shoot, there is terminal bud, and it has unlimited growth. And dwarf shoot has no bud at the tip, so there is a limited growth. Coming to the leaf in case of Pinus. So leaf. So coming to the leaf, in case of the pinus, leaf is usually when we talk about the types of leaves, we talk about just two types. But in case of pinus, there is one more. The first one is called scaly leaves. This is common. And the second one is called foliar leaves. And the third one, so I'm going to write it here. The third one is called sporophylls. This is only present in pinus. Okay, and these both are common in every plant. It's present. Now, scaly leaves. Scaly leaves basically cover the long shoot. Covers the long shoot. So we have looked at the types of shoot. The first one is long shoot. Then the second one is dwarf shoot. So it basically the scaly leaves covers the long shoot. Coming to foliar leaves. Now this is important. Wherever you hear the word foliar or folia, that means it refers to leaf, the true leaf. That's why these foliar leaves are green in color. They perform photosynthesis and they are needle-like. Needle-like. Okay, so this is scaly leaves, covers the long shoot, and foliar leaves, they are green, they perform photosynthesis and they are needle-like. Coming to sporophylls. Now, sporophylls, the main function of sporophylls is they form the cone. They form the cone. Now we know that pinus is a gymnosperm and it comes under this classification, that is conifers. Conifers, cone. So conifers has cone. That's why the main function of formation of cone is by this sporophyll kind of leaves. These sporophylls are also divided into two types. The first one is called as microsporophylls. The second one is called as megasporophylls or macrosporophylls. So microsporophylls, megasporophylls. Microsporophylls form the male cone. We know that pinus is monoecious, so there is male and female sex organ on the same plant. So microsporophylls form the male cone. Megasporophylls form the female cone. So male cone is formed by these microsporophylls, female cone is formed by these megasporophylls. Now, the main function of sporophylls is they form the cone. Cone is also called as strobilus or strobili. So strobilus is singular, strobili is plural. So cone has also got one more name, that is strobilus. Coming to the structure, so we have this long shoot. So long shoot, and then we have the dwarf shoots, and here we have the bud at the tip. So long shoot has unlimited growth. It has bud at the tip or terminal bud, and we have these dwarf shoots, and from these scaly leaves, these dwarf shoots arise, and these scaly leaves covers the long shoot. And above these dwarf shoots, the foliar leaves arise. So they are more or less needle-like. So we're drawing it like this. They are very long and they are green. They perform photosynthesis and they are needle-like. Okay. So this is how these foliar leaves arise. So we can label it also. Foliar leaves. So this is foliar leaves. Now we know that sporophylls form the cone of strobilus, and it has microsporophylls, it has male cone, it has female cone. Now how does this male cone and female cone appear like? Male cone is usually in clusters. So this is the male cone. Male cone is usually at the tip and it's more or less like in a compact structure or cluster like, and they occur in bundles. So they are very small and they occur in bundles. So that is male cone. Label it male cone. Coming to the female cone, how does that look like? A female cone is very large. It doesn't come in bundles or it's not like a more compact structure. It is large, it is single, and it doesn't come in bundles as well. So here we have one scaly leaf, here one scaly leaf. So between those, it's somewhat present here like that. Like that. So this is how these male cones appear. Sorry, female cones appear. So female cone. Female cone is large, single, and it's not in a compact structure. So this is the difference between male cone and female cone. And foliar leaves are green and needle-like. One more important thing about foliar leaves is that they have a certain type of stomata called sunken stomata. Sunken stomata. And why do they have this sunken stomata? It is to prevent the water loss in transpiration. So to prevent or minimize water loss or H2O or water loss in transpiration. So this is the function of sunken stomata, and it's very important. It's present in case of foliar leaves. One more important thing when we talk about Pinus, the whole thing about Pinus is that, so I'm going to write it here. Pinus has mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza. Now this is a very important point. Pinus has mycorrhiza. What is meaning of mycorrhiza? Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association between a fungus and the roots of higher plant. So I'm going to write it here. Mycorrhiza is the symbiotic association between or mutual benefit between fungus or fungi and roots of higher plants. Now usually these higher plants, what is the meaning of higher plants? Higher plants means more advanced and developed forms of plants. Now these higher plants are in gymnosperms. So they are usually gymnosperms, and that gymnosperm is this Pinus. So it's a symbiotic association. What is the meaning of symbiotic association? Symbiotic association means mutually benefiting. Like when we talk about lichens or lichens, that is a symbiotic association between an algae and fungus. So algae basically provides the water and food to the fungus, and fungus also gives something in return. So it's basically a mutual benefit or symbiotic association. Both are getting benefited in this case. So symbiotic association between fungus and the roots of higher plants, and that higher plant is nothing but Pinus in this case. So Pinus, which is a conifer, has mycorrhiza. Cycas, which belongs to cycadales, that is different. They don't have mycorrhiza. They have coralloid roots, so that is different. But Pinus is the plant which has mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is symbiotic association between fungus and the roots of higher plants. So these are some basic characteristics about Pinus. Pinus is a conifer. The four types of gymnosperms are conifers, which includes Pinus, cycadales, which includes cycas, gentiales, and the fourth one is ginkgoales, which includes the ginkgo biloba, which is considered as the living fossil. So these are some basic characteristics about Pinus. It's a conifer, and the tallest gymnosperm, the smallest gymnosperm. The smallest one is Zamia pygmea. The tallest gymnosperm or tree is the Hipparion or Sequoia sempervirens, and it's basically the coastal redwood. So these are some basic characteristics of gymnosperms as well as Pinus, which is a conifer.